What's up, YouTube? It's Ben, and in this video, I'm going to ask you the question, would you rather be wealthy or rich? And what exactly is the difference? All right, guys, my name is Ben Nader. If you don't follow my content already, I talk a lot about finance, entrepreneurship, business, software, investing, real estate, recruiting, all of those things. If you like that kind of stuff and you enjoy earning money and business, you should definitely subscribe to this channel right away. All right, so as you can probably tell, I have definitely put more of a spin on this channel as it pertains to finance and investing, because that's exactly what I'm doing right now. A lot of investing and a lot of things related to my finances. So with that being said, I always want to teach and preach and talk about the things that I'm doing and talk about things that are definitely related to what you should know now. Not later, but right now. So stick with me until the end. I'm just going to explain to you exactly what it means to be rich or to be wealthy, right? And what the differences are and how each of them has their own pros and cons. All right, so when it comes to being rich, and when it comes to investing and planning and tax strategies and all that kind of stuff, a rich person doesn't have a lot of planning. They don't make a lot of investments. They could make $10 million a year, but they don't make a lot of investments with that money. They have bad tax strategies and they don't put that money to good use so that it can grow like assets such as real estate or other businesses or expanding that money in any other way. They generally live to spend that money. So it's actually kind of like the poor person cycle, where that poor person will remain poor because they just simply spend the money they get right away. It just so happens that rich people are in the same situation, right? You can be super rich, like literally $10 million cash in the bank, but if you spend that instantly and you don't have any tax planning or investing or strategies, that's a totally different ballgame than someone who's wealthy. All right, so someone that's wealthy has investment planning, tax planning, estate planning. They have all of it set up, right? So they're putting all of their money, that $10 million that we're using, right, for an example, into investments like real estate, right? Where they can rent that out and make passive income for the rest of their lives and the rest of their grandchildren's lives, right? So they're investing, right? They're doing other things that offset their taxes, because when you earn a lot of money, you're going to pay a lot of taxes. But wealthy people understand that there is strategy around this. So they make certain specific investments in very strategic ways that basically allow them to pay almost zero tax. Yes, that's why you see so many headlines of so many billionaires or multimillionaires, etc., blah, 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 paying very little to no tax. Yes, there's a reason for it, because they are wealthy people that have a lot of planning. They have a lot of foresight, right? So they're looking for advantages. They're looking for, I wouldn't say loopholes, right? They're just looking for the actual tax code and doing things that basically don't allow the government to take all of their hard-earned money. All right, so when it comes to expenses, rich people tend to have very high expenses, right? So a rich person will have like $20,000, $30,000 a month in expenses. You might think that number sounds crazy, but that's actually kind of in the middle of the ballpark for somebody that has $10 million in the bank account. They might be spending $50,000 a month or even more. And that's on vacations, that's on toys, that's on basically whatever they want, right? It really doesn't matter. They have the mentality of, I have it, so I'm going to spend it. And that's it, right? Where it comes to actual wealthy people, right? Those people have low expenses, okay? So the strategy is sort of what I talked about in the beginning about planning and budgeting and all that kind of stuff. Wealthy people tend to keep their expenses relatively low. If you don't know about this, there's something called lifestyle inflation. Now, this is basically when somebody gets a lot of money and they're living a certain lifestyle, right? Their lifestyle inflates as their income inflates, right? So if you're living on $2,500 a month and all of a sudden you're living on $25,000 a month, you basically just 10x your lifestyle if you go by lifestyle inflation. But wealthy people do not do this. Wealthy people keep their living expenses at a minimum. So, for example, you could be a wealthy person that lives in a very modest home, has very modest clothing, drives a modest vehicle, all that sort of stuff. So oftentimes you'll hear about the millionaire that's driving a Toyota Camry, right? And everyone laughs and says, wow, why are you driving a Camry, right? It's the most common vehicle that a millionaire purchases. You can look it up, Google it, check it out. Literally, it's in the book, The Millionaire Next Door. They talk about this stuff all the time, how the millionaires keep expenses low, and it's for a reason. Now let's look to the future. So money to rich people, okay, is finite, and it will run out eventually because of their spending habits. That's how it goes with rich people. Now, wealthy people, money will overlast them. It will go beyond their life. It will go to their children, their children's children, right? It will go beyond because they've invested and they've planned and they've created trusts, right? Or estate planning, right? Where you actually have all of this control over this money so that your taxes don't literally eat away all the money and the money stays in the family, right? You ever hear the whole saying, young money, old money? Young money is like being rich. Old money is being wealthy, right? So that's the idea. The ultra wealthy will have money forever because of the way they've done things in their life. Rich people will have money, but it'll be for a shorter period of time. And by the time that person dies, they'll probably have like nothing. Now, where do people keep their money if they are rich or if they're wealthy? Now, if you're rich, you generally have your money into all sorts of toys and all sorts of random things that you've purchased, all sorts of liabilities like jet skis, boats, yachts, etc., jets, whatever, anything like that, right? Now, wealthy people have all of their money inside of assets that produce income, right? Income generating assets, investments, things that make them money, which they can then utilize that money to actually buy the toys that the rich people buy right away. Rich people skip the step of buying all of the assets that produce the liability money first. Therefore, they go straight to the liabilities and they don't have the underlying asset that will continue to make money for them so that they can buy more and more liabilities as much as the rich person can. Now, going along that same theme, rich people generally tend to rely on an income stream that comes from maybe a high salary or perhaps comes from like a windfall, like an inheritance or something like that, or just some huge amount of money they get from a business maybe. It doesn't matter really, but they just get their money in that fashion. How do wealthy people get their money? Well, wealthy people get their money generally, possibly from some of the same things, but mostly from investments, right? Mostly from having invested their money into assets that grow and create money. People say money doesn't grow on trees. It doesn't. It grows through assets, right? So unless those assets are like in an apple orchard, then yeah, money will grow on trees for that person. But a wealthy person has all of their money coming from assets and investments that they've made, not from just one singular income source like a high producing salary or something like that. A wealthy person generally has a very diversified stream of income, meaning they've got multiple streams of income coming from different places, coming from different businesses, maybe investments, etc., and they are well diversified so that if one thing kind of shuts off, the other faucet's still running. So the diversification works very well for that. Now, getting here towards the end, I just want to talk about behaviors, right? So in general, rich people want to show off. They want to buy material assets all of the time, right? Material liabilities, okay? I call them assets, but they're really just like items, right? Whatever they are, they want to buy these things constantly, consistently, and consistently upgrade their lifestyle, right? So if it's like, living in one spot, oh, that's not big enough. We need a new spot, right? So it's upgrading the lifestyle, upgrading the car, upgrading the clothing, upgrading like whatever all the time, consistently. Now, if you're a wealthy person, what you're doing is generally investing more and more and more into assets, right? So you're investing more into diversified assets that can produce you tons of varied income, right? Then you can use all that income on the same liabilities that the rich people are using, right? So you can upgrade your lifestyle as a wealthy person, right? People don't realize this. It's just two different mindsets of how the money goes behaviorally, right? So here's the whole thing. All wealthy people are rich, but not all rich people are wealthy. That's one of the biggest takeaways that I'd like to give you guys today about rich versus wealthy. Now, in my personal opinion, absolutely, of course, 100%, you should be a wealthy person. Okay, you should be someone that invests your money, puts your money into assets that grow over time, that produce income that you can then use on liabilities, things like cars, things like houses, things like toys, whatever you want to spend that money on. But you have an underlying asset that will always produce more money for you. And you can still run a business. You can still do whatever you want, right? You can still have multiple income streams, diversified income, all of that stuff, right? So you can be a wealthy person that's also super rich. You just don't want to be simply rich alone, right? Rich alone is cool, but not cool as being wealthy and rich. All right, guys, I definitely hope you got some value out of this video. I hope this pointed you in the right direction, and definitely smash that like button if you enjoyed it. Absolutely join our Facebook group down at the bottom, Recruiter Empire. If you're not already in our group, we'd love to have you in there. There are 14,000 recruiters and entrepreneurs in the group. We'd love to see you in there, and I will see you guys next time.